The first lie is that money is the root of all evil. A lot of women, a lot of people just struggle with, okay, what do I do after I've given my 10%, right?
A lot of times we think that we're bad with money because we misused money in the past, or we have some money mishaps, or something tragic happened and we face a loss. We just haven't been taught how to steward money. We've been taught to tithe, but like once you tithe, what do you do with the 90%? The idea behind it was to just get people to invite God into their finances. And a lot of times we separate, it's almost like church and state. We separate everything. I mean, I was trying to fill a void of feeling rejected from, my childhood or wanting to be accepted. Like I was trying to self-medicate through like basically collecting wealth.
I remember just even growing up, it was very much tithe your 10%. And then you're wondering, okay, how do I save money and pay all my bills and still have some money after, right?
So that's kind of where I come in. And I really more so focus on the mindset. As a accredited financial counselor, I can help you with like all the other things of the actual number part. But when I'm working with a client, we always start with mindset. I pray that like you really like understand the word for yourself and realize that money is actually a tool that God has given us. In that 1 week, she got 2 promotions. And it was all about her just asking.
Wow.
The basis of this is just us like misquoting scripture. So the scripture is the love of money is the root of all evil. And so money itself cannot be evil. I always teach my clients that money is a tool that God has given us. And we know this like from Deuteronomy 8:18, it says God has given us the ability to create wealth. I pray that like you really like understand the word for yourself and realize that money is actually a tool that God has given us.
That's so good.
I used to try to convince myself that I was trying to build God's kingdom when secretly I was trying to build my own kingdom. I was trying to fill a void of feeling rejected from, my childhood or wanting to be accepted. Like I was trying to self-medicate through basically collecting wealth. And so I think it's important for us to understand, why do you want the wealth? And once you understand why you want the wealth, then that kind of answers your question on like, are you doing this because you're trying for self-righteous reasons, or are you doing this to actually build God's kingdom?
That's good.
And so a lot of times we think that we're bad with money because we misused money in the past, or we have some money mishaps, or something tragic happened and we face a loss. And I kind of compare it to parenting. I need to forgive myself,
of course,
understand where I went wrong, and then course correct. And I think the same thing when it comes to our finances. Like, that's even ironic that I even brought up parenting, because even in this season, like my kids are getting older, and I realize God always uses the summertime to help me like pray for them and to kind of like think about the next school year. And we can do the same thing with our finances. And so I think this understanding, again, it's a tool. It's something that we have to learn. It's a skill that we have to continue to learn. Like you never have arrived, because there's always something else that you can learn. And so I think just giving ourselves grace, as I mentioned, forgiving ourselves, and then like asking for help. That's kind of where I come in. And I really more so focus on the mindset. As a accredited financial counselor, I can help you with like all the other things of the actual number part. But when I'm working with a client, we always start with mindset. I used to host a prayer challenge. The idea behind it was to just get people to invite God into their finances. And a lot of times we separate. It's almost like church and state. We separate everything. Like it's almost like, I give you my 10%, God, but the 90, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do with it. And so I was hosting a virtual like prayer challenge. And so, with a challenge, we had like the general admission, and then we had like some VIP, and I only had one person sign up for the VIP. And so I was like, this is odd, because I normally have more than one person. So I was like, what's going on? And so I met with the lady, and so it basically, she needed one-on-one time.
Wow.
She basically just got a one-on-one session with me. And the challenge, I believe it was like a 5-day challenge. So for 5 nights, she was just getting like one-on-one time with me. And so basically in this prayer challenge, I have prayer prompts.
Okay.
And so actually like the gift that I brought you is a little book, a little prayer journal in it. And so there's 15 prayer prompts. I pick out like some prayer prompts that I want us to focus on.
Yeah.
And to basically, I kind of teach on those concepts in the prayer prompts. And then just have them go back and talk to God and journal through the things. And so it's almost like therapy of them just kind of breaking through the patterns in their mind. And we're so busy. Like we're always doing things. We're always on the go. A lot of our like financial things are like automatic.
Yeah.
And so,
oh, that's true.
Yeah. And so we don't really get to touch money and like feel like how we feel about certain things and how we feel about spending decisions.
Yeah.
And so this was a really cool time for these women to really like be still and really focus in on like, how do I feel in regards to my finances? Why do I have these patterns? Where do I think it stemmed from? And so this 5 nights of going with this particular person, in that 1 week, she got 2 promotions.
What?
And it was all about her just asking.
Wow.
And the very first night, I remember her saying, KP, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but there's a promotion that I want. When she spoke up and she got the first promotion, then another department saw that she got the promotion and asked for her to come over to them.
Wow.
So she got 2 promotions in 1 week. But it was all about her just asking, open up her mouth. And that kind of goes with like, a lot of times we feel like we're not worthy of wealth because we feel like because of our past money mistakes, because we haven't been taught, because we're the first person in our family to experience certain financial things. And we kind of like beat ourselves down before our family can get to us. Who I think I am, like having this money or whatever.
Right.
And so that particular client, just doing the work of digging deep, allowing God to reveal to her what was holding her back, what was her barriers. And she realized her barrier was how she saw herself, how she viewed money, and just her having the, I guess, timidity around speaking up and asking for what God had already promised her. That's an example. And so I would say even after that challenge, she eventually went into full time, like working for herself.
Wow.
But it was all because of that first being able to like speak up and ask for their initial raise.
Yeah.
And so to the person who is thinking that money is evil, I pray that like you really like understand the word for yourself. And realize that money is actually a tool that God has given us.
That's so good. So good.